Hey genderqueer chat, Joe here. Good morning. It's 6 in the morning, Thursday morning as I make this video. Ever since clocks went back, I can't seem to sleep in. Partly because this guy, who you don't get to see very often, Eli, hi wee, my hyperthyroid kitty. Can you hear him purr? He's really loud purr. Is very, very noisy. One of the side effects of hyperthyroidism is meowing constantly. So yes, that's why I look like this. It's okay. I don't mind getting up early. And I have my daylight on, so it's really bright in here. I love it. This week's topic was selected by Matt, and it is Genderqueer 101, educating others about genderqueer non-binary identities. What steps do you take to educate others about genderqueer issues and identities? Does part of sharing your own genderqueer experience with others extend to broader discussion about genderqueer issues and visibility? And then there's another part, alternatively. We did this topic once. I will link to it below. We did this topic about a year ago. Well, Stanley's here now, and Eli's licking his head. It's drawing lots of action on my bed today. Here's Stanley's tail. We did this topic a while back, so I will link to my previous video because I remember really enjoying, it was quite, me and my long videos, it was quite a lengthy video and I had a lot to say. But I will reiterate a lot of that here as it's new and improved and updated for 2011. Although I think it was in 2011 as well. What steps do you take to educate others about genderqueer issues and identities? Okay, so because I work, I was about to say I work in a non-academic setting, but I work for a school board, so it is academic, but it's not academic in a university way, it's just like grade schools. So, all of my colleagues are, computer technicians who usually have a computer tech diploma, or a lot of the secretaries in the schools who have a high school education, maybe a little bit of college, but, no specialty. I want to say uneducated, but it's I'm not phrasing this correctly. I think in the US, as far as I can tell, getting a bachelor's degree is like the same as getting a high school diploma everywhere else in the world. It seems like everyone in the US of a certain means has a degree. In my world, no one has a degree. The teachers do in the schools, but I'm not really friends with a lot of teachers. And I worked in low-paying jobs a lot of my life, or in libraries where that was also a college diploma, not a university degree. And I should probably clarify that. In Canada, a college diploma is 2 years, and a university degree is 3 or 4. So they're very different, and they're very differently looked upon. When I hang around people who are not academic, and by academic I mean people who know about things like, the history of feminism and stuff like that. The average person that I work on a day-to-day basis doesn't even know the word genderqueer, doesn't live in a world where they discuss philosophies of being and stuff like that. It's a very technical world that I live in. And people discuss their wives and their kids, and I mean, I am really a square peg in a round hole in that place. But I take the opportunity every day to live as a shining example of something different and something that is possible, that you don't have to live in a defined box like that. So I educate through example. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I live an alternative lifestyle, and I'm not ashamed of it, and I sing it loud and proud. And when people ask me questions, I'm very, very honest and open about, the choices I've made and the life I live. Genderqueer has come up a few times in my job where I had the opportunity to say the word. One guy, I think I've said this in a previous video, one guy got mad right away. As soon as I said it, he said, "I don't like the word queer." And I said, well, all right then, gender variant, non-gender binary oriented. And he kind of calmed down after that. I think there is a stigma associated with the word queer that some people can't wrap their brains around. If they immediately jump to conclusions about sexuality, they don't understand the differences between gender and sexuality. Yeah, I love educating, but educating in a kind of a down-to-earth, real way. Just through example, not through academic discussions about, about it. Does part of sharing your own genderqueer experience with others extend to broader discussion about genderqueer issues and visibility? I suppose. broader discussions about genderqueer issues and visibility. You know, the fact that I am genderqueer and loud and proud about it does spark conversations about all sorts of things. Recently, my sister said something weird, which I thought was, she said it to my mom, and my mom said it to me. She said, if Jo identifies as genderqueer, why does she always have long hair? To which I said, if Mom identifies as female, why does she have short hair? Like, what the fuck kind of question is that? Hair length has nothing to do with anything. I guess in her mind, you know, genderqueer equals being the opposite gender to which I was born, which is male. And, you know, I should be portraying as male or male-ish. Whatever. And that was a conversation my mom and I had, which is funny because my sister brought it up, but I didn't talk to my sister about it. What steps do I take to endeavor? Oh, so also my 12-year-old quilting student, I had a talk with her about it. Not so much genderqueer, but more transgenderism. And it was really good to be able to get that out, you know, to somebody young. I think too, because I have that kind of plain spoken way about me, that when it comes up in conversation, oftentimes I just say it as if it's a fact and I just move on, and I assume the person I'm speaking to gets it, and I assume, I don't presume that it's a complicated thing that they have to think about. It may well be, but I don't demean them by assuming they're stupid and they don't know what I'm talking about. I just carry on as if I say, well, you know, I don't really participate in the gender binary, and then I kind of make a gesture like, look at me, I don't participate in the gender binary, and usually they laugh, or usually that's kind of a loaded comment, and if they want to pursue the conversation, we can, but it doesn't come up as an academic conversation very often in my life, but it does come up insofar as I am an example, a living example of something different that can be discussed, because I'm very open and honest about everything in my life, and I'll discuss anything with anybody. Okay, but the other part of the question was, alternatively, let's see what time we've got here. Alternatively, what resources have you come across in your area or online that endeavor to educate or bring genderqueer non-binary identities to the public eye? So in my life, because I work for a school board, they do have equity policies in place. We had, sorry, I'm stuffed up. We have something called, we had positive space training in my workplace, which meant everybody had to participate and had to go and learn about, it was funny because we had a dyke. She was very funny. She identified, I don't know if she used the word bull dyke, but she said something along those lines. She was a very, very masculine dyke, and she identified as that, and she said, you can call me queer, I have no problem with you calling me queer. And the guys in my office had never met anybody like this, you know, they were really thrown off. But because she was so articulate, you couldn't help but warm to her. Anyway, she gave a whole 2-hour presentation about what LGBTQIA. We went around the circle and discussed it. It was kind of interesting, you know, to have that opportunity in the workplace, because you don't get that at very many workplaces. I happen to work for a workplace that has that kind of thing. I think partly because the director of education is gay, in the head honcho where I work is gay. The boss's boss, and out and proud. And he's new. He only started there a year ago, I think, and he's trying to get the word out, I think. I could be wrong. And, you know, also with the It Gets Better campaign and stuff, and kids being bullied, it's become more and more in the public eye. So we do talk about it more at work in a way that I don't think they did before. And especially because I work, as I said, I work in an all-male environment, and they're typically pretty homophobic, and they don't want to discuss anything gay-related. That's just the way they are. But they have to. They're forced to at work. Resources that endeavor to educate. I guess I just think of, I'm kind of a living resource. I mean, anytime anybody says something, you know, really stereotypical, I usually correct them. I'm not shy. I'm not ashamed. I don't have any problem speaking up to say, you know, that might be true for you, but that's not true for everybody. I work in a place where a lot of guys talk about, oh, guys and girls, as if they're just two big blob entities and there's nothing in between. So I'm forever correcting, or forever giving an alternative viewpoint on that one. Okay, hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.